Hi, my name is Mario. I'm going to be your counselor today. But before we begin, I would like to tell you some rules, confident rules. Anything that me and you talk right now is completely confidential. I will need a writing permission from you if you want me to share any information to anybody. There are some exceptions to this rule. The exceptions are if I see some abuse or you want to hurt yourself or you want to hurt others. Okay?
Okay.
Great. So, what brings you to therapy?
Well, my job, work, that's really why I'm here. I'm sure you kind of know that. So, I've been kind of having some issues with my attendance.
Attendance.
Um, I've been late quite a bit lately. I've called in a little more often than I should. And most recently, I didn't even call in. I didn't even show up. But my work, I'm close knit with my work group. So they came and they talked to me, and this is obviously they're giving me this chance to like work with you and figure out hey, what can we do to get me back on track.
Okay.
So
What are the reasons that you call in or don't show up for work? Would you mind telling me about it?
I mean, I haven't really been feeling the best lately. I've been kind of more down and been kind of
Down.
I don't know if down's even kind of overwhelmed, really. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know the feeling. It's been a lot of things. It's kind of a lot of things.
What are the lot of things? Can you elaborate a little bit more about those
Yeah.
lot of things that you mentioned to me?
Yeah. So recently, I'm ex-military. I'm military.
Oh, wow.
So
Thank you for your service.
thank you. My one of my buddies committed suicide.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And it just kind of got me thinking, because we all kind of he went through the same things that I went through, and we have this group of friends that we get together and we talk still about stuff and just hang out and have a good time sometimes, but we all kind of went through these things, and I'm like, if he could do it, like, who's next on the list, or like, am I next on the list? So
You were like in the military, like a team, right?
yeah.
You guys have each other's back. And how is it making you feel now that he committed suicide? Can you tell me more about that? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like I let him down. I feel like you're right. Like, we were a team. Like, we are supposed to be looking out for one another. Like, when we get together and we talk and we say these things. I mean, he's kind of like mentioned some stuff, and he was like, I'm not doing the best. He didn't show up to the last. We all went out to eat a couple weeks before, and and he didn't show up, and we were just like, man, like, and I kept telling myself, I'm like, hey, maybe I should reach out to him, and maybe we should.
Wow.
And then he was gone. So it's like, yeah, like, we could have stopped it. I don't know. Like, we didn't.
And it seems to me that you being sad about your friend committing suicide is making you not go to work, or what are the reasons behind it that you're not going to work for?
So when I start thinking about this kind of stuff, and I start getting into my moods and my like this, just the thoughts and the racing thoughts, I guess would be a way to say it, is like the racing thoughts, and it's like all of the things, or or the memories sometimes come back too, and it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable feeling to have, right? When my mind's going and going, it's like I need something to stop it. I need to stop it, and I need to put it on pause. So I'll have a drink or two or whatever, and there's times when I have several.
Okay.
And I might not feel the best the next morning, and it's kind of getting me kind of slow. And part of me wants to, like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, fuck it, does it even matter if I go to work today? Like, if I'm just gonna be dead like tomorrow, or what's the point of me doing all this? And so, but I go. I kind of talk myself back into it, but it's like, what's the point? Right?
It seems to me that you're bringing back the thoughts of your friend committing suicide, and you're using like a coping skills. Your coping will be alcohol, and that might making you feel not having enough energy to go to work. I'm comprehending it correct?
I mean, it's not. I don't always have to be drinking to not go to work, but yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure it's contributing some.
Okay. So You mentioned it to me at the beginning that your employer wanted you to come to counseling. Will you mind telling me why your employer is involved in all of this?
Well, because of my work performance. But I
Okay.
mean, and like I said, like we're kind of, I don't know. I think you said like, because you said like team, so we're a team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my team now. Like, yes, I got my military buddies, but my work team is my team, and
Correct.
we still look out for each other. So when I didn't show up to work
Mm-hmm.
recently, my boss came looking for me and uh, found me, and I was kind of a
Mm-hmm.
little tipsy,
Okay.
and I was still drunk from the night before, and me and my boyfriend had kind of gotten into a argument, and things escalated,
Okay.
and um, we both ended up kind of being, you know, a little too much for each other, I
Oh,
think.
okay. What do you mean with a little bit too much with each other? Would you mind elaborate a little bit more about that?
So the reason why I hesitate is because I know that when we started this, you said that if there was like any type of like abuse or anything, that we would have to report it. And so I
Mm-hmm.
don't know like what you like. Is it okay for me to talk to you about
Mm-hmm.
like us getting into a fight? Like
Well,
if
I
two
want.
adults fight, do you have to report that if it's
I
just like
would
a
like,
fight
if
or
it's an
like
argument, I want to know more why your employer, that you mentioned it to me, the employer
yeah
saw you tipsy.
yeah
You mentioned it to me that your employer saw you. What else? Did he see something in yourself that were not right?
well I had a
Well,
black
others,
eye.
you got a black eye. Okay, I had a black eye. And this argument, when it started to happening, how was it like your relationship in the past? Prior to your friend committing suicide and you no feeling as a part of a team, and you're supposed to have his back the way he had your back, and that's completely understandable. How was it like before?
So we've been together 7 years,
Okay.
and I feel like that's a really long time, and things were really great in the beginning, and we got along well. We
Mm-hmm.
barely argued, and I think over time we started to just kind of like get sick of each other, maybe, or he just kind of started getting
Sick of
sick of
each other.
me, maybe. I think that's maybe more what it is. I think he just kind of started getting sick of me.
Getting sick of you.
Yeah,
You mentioned to me getting sick.
yeah,
Would you mind expanding a
yeah.
little bit more about what do you mean with sick?
So because of my stuff, like because of like my history and like what all the stuff that I've been
Mm-hmm.
through, like so I get down. I get like those moods, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like I just either want to be left alone or I need someone to talk to or I just get
Mm-hmm.
upset and I'll cry. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
cry. And
get
my
over
boyfriend
it.
isn't,
Yeah.
he's not really, I mean, he was okay with it and he was supportive at first. And now I feel like he looks at me when I get upset and he's like, ugh, again, like she's upset again. Like she's talking about this
How's that
again.
make
And
you feel when he talk to you like
like he
that?
doesn't care. Like he doesn't care. And I mean, it's like he doesn't get it. I know he doesn't get
Mm-hmm.
it. Like he didn't live through that. I lived through that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know how to explain to him like how it is that like it's like this shit is always going to be with me, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is always I'm always going to have these memories. Like I wish that I could just like go inside my brain and like take these memories out and just like throw them away and like be
Mm-hmm.
done with them. But they're always going to be there and it's like he doesn't understand that I can't stop this. I can't stop these feelings and he gets mad about them and then I'm like I'm mad and I'm mad and I get mad at him
Mm-hmm.
because he's not, he just doesn't get it. And then we just, butt head. It just gets
Okay.
escalates and it's been getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that your relationship is not going as you planned it. Could be going. Let's put a pause on that and let's talk about your drinking habits. How many drinks do you have during the week?
So I drink about like 3 or 4 times during the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go from anywhere from having like just a couple drinks and then going to bed. And some nights I go and I just drink and I'm three sheets to the wind, and I'm, and it takes quite a bit for me to get that way. I mean, like I have a pretty good tolerance, so it's not like I'm just like drunk all the time. So
you're mentioning to me tolerance. So the tolerance have increased in the way you're drinking, and it seems to me that it's been affecting your work performance and your energy. What are the ways of distractions that you might have or you will think to have in order for you to distress yourself and not use alcohol as a coping mechanism?
Because it helps, because it shuts it off. Other things that I do, I don't really, nothing. I mean, I guess I hang out with friends sometimes, It's been not so much lately, but I mean, I have my groups. I have my military group, and I have, a couple other like groups that I'm in. I have like my tribe, like my people, so, but things that I do specifically, I don't really.
Any ideas maybe you might have to like that you would like to do? For instance, how was you back in high school, or how was you in any sports that you might practice when you were in the military?
So I mean, in high school I played a lot of sports. I kind of did a lot of stuff. When I think of like sports in the military, I mean, I didn't, but there was running, and I didn't mind the running so much. Like that's actually something that I think when I was younger, it did. I remember, it would kind of clear my mind, I guess, a little. I guess, hey, like that's what I want, right? So, but I think it's just getting the motivation to get up and put on my running shoes and be like, this is what I'm gonna go do.
So you mentioned motivation. What is your biggest motivation in life?
My biggest motivation in life, I think, something that gives me like purpose and meaning, is being part of like that group, that team, that that's what it is.
And what are the things that make you think that you're not part of the team? I know that you mentioned it to me that when your friend got committed suicide, you were not there. However, you cannot be everywhere anytime, right? While you were in the military with him, do you guys have really good support? Do you bring him support to him?
Yeah, like we all were. I mean, even like, after we,
And that counts. That counts of you being part of that team. And now you also mentioned it to me that you work is part of your team as well. So now you have another team to look up, right? And I noticed that your employer sent you here because you were in lack of not going to work. And if it is important to you as your team was in the past in the military team, and this work is your team as well, what are the ways that you can think of to not disappoint your boss? What are the reasons that what are the different things that you can do to not be to be on time, to not disappoint that team that is so important to you, that you could do?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one, right? Like, it is, because I think once I started missing work and being late to work, then I felt bad about letting my team down, like my work team down, and then that was kind of like just like more on top of the shame that I had already felt from everything else, and so now I'm like, okay, now there's this too, and then that just made it even more difficult. So yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to just maybe get my head back in the game and be a purposeful person, like be a part of this team that's actually like, doing stuff. And I think just that in itself might actually like make me feel a little better.
And what are the things that it can be favorable to you, that or not favorable to you, that is making you not going on time of work or things like that? What are the things that you can tell me?
I mean, I think we kind of already talked about this. I think you hit the nail on the head with, I mean, I just need to not get drunk, and so I can get up in the morning and make it to work on time. I mean, that's really it. But
It's,
I
it's
think I just need to
difficult.
like be like, I need to find my cutoff, you know, like when I
Mm-hmm.
start having these feelings and I'm like, okay, I need a drink. I'm just gonna, I need to turn these feelings off.
Mm-hmm.
I need to like be like, okay, I'm gonna only have like 4 drink maximum,
Mm-hmm.
because then I know that if I only have those 4 drinks, that I won't wake up the next morning feeling super crappy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely willing to do that, to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I mean, that's good that you come out with this kind of solution to cut down your drinking habits with the amount of alcohol intake that you used to have and you will have later on. I think that's a great idea. Um, the you mentioned it to me the sad moments, right? That the back memories from your friend who committed suicide. What brings you joy? So on the other side of the coin, what is the other thing that brings you joy and comfortability and happiness? Would you mind telling me a little bit more what other things that bring you joy?
I mean, my relationship used to.
Mm-hmm.
So my boyfriend's really funny,
Okay.
right? Like he's
Okay.
funny. He's a funny guy. So he, you know, he likes to joke around, and I think that's something that he used to kind of do. You know, I'd get
Mm-hmm.
down and I'd be sad, and he'd like joke around, and it could kind of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'd laugh and I'd feel better, and but then again, like over time, he just kind of got to where he's like just kind of
Yeah, you meant
gave
you
up on me. I don't know.
no, you meant you give up on you. Would you would you mention it to me that you feel that he doesn't care, right? And that's what you mean with give up
I
on
mean,
you?
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I don't know. He hasn't left me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and we still have good moments. But I think just when I get upset, he gave up on making me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a better way to say it. You know, like he didn't
Mm-hmm.
give up on me, but he gives up when I'm like he's over it. He's
Mm-hmm.
over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Good. So there are no other ways of distraction that you might have. Like you mentioned to me that you practice different sports when you were in high school. What kind of sport you practice back in high school, besides the running that you did in the
But
military?
track.
Track.
Yeah, I did track, and then we did, you know, softball, soccer, and
Soccer,
basketball.
softball. Okay,
So,
good. And right now, your group of friends that you have, what other activities do you do with them that might distract your mind with your group of friends?
well, sometimes we get together when we play basketball together,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so
That's
that's
right.
nice, you know, and because I mean, everybody knows when you're active, you're physically active, it helps your brain, you know, but they're not always there, and they have their lives, so it's not like, you know, at like 8 o'clock at night when I'm sitting at home and I'm upset and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
calling all the buddies together, like, hey, let's go play some
Yeah.
basketball, you know, like, so
Okay. What would you really want to focus on? So you mentioned it to me, your down moments, sadness, frustration, stress coming from your friend committing suicide, your employer being worried about your current relationship and condition, and then obviously the relationship issues that you have with your current boyfriend. And you mentioned it to me that it was due to the alcohol consumption and abuse you've been doing throughout this time that is gonna obviously affect your job performance and how you get in time. So all of those things that I just mentioned to you, what would you like to work first?
I think the one thing that I would like to focus on most, okay, maybe like 2 things that I want to
Mm-hmm.
focus on most, because really, you know, I came in here thinking that I wanted to focus on these thoughts and like these, when I get that like that overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
feeling, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I do want to talk about that, but again, I think like kind of as we talked, I know that if I can get my ass to work on time, that will help alleviate some of that,
Okay.
like that shame
That
that I
sounds like
have.
a
So
plan. Mm-hmm.
so I'm willing to try the 4 drink maximum, not minimum.
Terrific. Okay.
And that's not every night, but it's just like if I do feel like drinking, then I'm gonna be like, okay, this is all I can have. So like
Okay.
maybe like even like just like taking them out and being like, these are my drinks, this is what I'm allowed, and when these are gone, then I can't have any more, right?
Okay. Okay. So let's wrap it up a little bit.
Okay.
So we're gonna work on reducing your alcohol intake. maybe implement a little bit of more distractions, such as playing basketball, going for a run, going for a walk.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's try to be on time for work.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're gonna work on those things well, and then we're gonna schedule a next session. How that sound?
That sounds great. That sounds perfect. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you for letting me come and talk to you and getting this off, because I thought this was really going to suck because my boss was making me come and I really didn't want to talk to you.
It's all good. I mean,
But
I'm
it's all right,
I'm
though.
glad that you open up to me and let's work on those stuff that I mentioned to you. And I see you next session.
Cool. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.